Welcome, I'm Leah Wilson-Felis, and this will be a short 20-minute video that is specifically made for a couple of my friends and clients who've requested a short video for the low back and hips specifically. So that's what we'll be targeting today. I will ask that you have a yoga block handy today. The yoga block will come in handy for a couple of our postures and just make the ground a little bit more accessible, so just make sure to have that close by. So today we are going to start working our hips and low back sitting in a cross-legged seated position. So if it is difficult for you to sit like this, then feel free to modify the position by bringing the legs a bit further away from you. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take my feet into this cross-legged seated position, and I have my left leg in front first. So just start like that. You could start with your right leg first. We're going to do both sides. So to just begin, we'll take our hands right in front of the leg that's in front, and for some of you this will be where you stop. You can start to walk your hands forward. You only want to go until your body tells you it's time to stop. That's what we call end feel. I feel the stretch through my left glute a little bit, through the thigh slightly, and so we're just starting to open up some of those muscles. So let's just maybe close the eyes or focus on the breath for a couple moments here. Just allowing that left hip to stretch out. And we're going to tent our fingertips on the floor or on the mat in front of us and start to walk them out over top the right thigh. So as you're here over the right thigh, your hands could be just squared right over top, or you could really walk those hands out away from your knee. So again, wherever you feel the stretch is a good spot to stay. So while you're there, you can just stay put, or if you feel like you could handle a little extra stretch, you can lift your left hand and reach like someone is helping you. Stretch a little bit further, like they're reaching for your hand. And so there's lots of angles available. Sometimes I'll turn my heart down. Sometimes I open my chest up a little bit just to seek a good stretch here in the left waist. Make sure your left butt cheek is not lifting up off the ground as you do this. Now let's go the other way. So just walk your hands back through to center and over to the left. We're going to do the same thing there. Whatever you did to the right, do it to the left too. So if you lifted your right hand, maybe you'll do that on this side, lifting the right hand, reaching a little further, maybe rounding the back, maybe opening the back. And starting when you're ready to walk your hands back to center. Back to seated. This is where we will use our block. So grab your block. Pillows work really well, or an old big phone book works really well too. So we're going to take our block, smallest level, and we're going to slide it right underneath the front ankle. So for me it's my left ankle. And I want this outer malleolus bone, this ankle bone, to be kind of hanging off of the edge. Now this has raised my left leg a little bit, and I can already feel the stretch in the side of my left hip. So from there, I'm just going to grab on knee, foot, and start to lean my chest a little closer. Feel it really deeply through the back side of the thigh, through the hip. And while you're there, you can add a gentle sweeping. Only if it feels good. Remember, every stretch that we do should feel good. We don't want it to hurt. And we'll start to peel up from here. We're going to take our block out of the way, and we're just going to extend our left leg straight out. So the right foot is still in the inner thigh of the left leg. We're going to rotate to the left. Big inhale up to the sky, forward fold over top your left leg, reaching for your toes, your ankle, your shin, or your knee. No matter where your arms are, you want to just bow your forehead towards your kneecap. And that's going to increase your stretch. You're going to feel it behind the hamstring on the back side of the thigh. So let's take a couple breaths, just stretching that out. One more deep breath right here. So we're stretching the back of the hamstring, a little bit in the hips, a little bit in the back. Let's back up a little bit. We're going to rotate. So keep your left hand down your left leg. Sweep your right hand out all the way. Right hand can reach up to the sky if it's available for that shoulder and maybe over your head. So now we're getting a low back stretch on the right side of the waist. So we're imagining the whole spine curling over to the left and extending and reaching on that right side. Relax your left shoulder. Let's take 2 more breaths. The more that you look towards the ceiling under your right arm, the more stretch you'll feel. Inhale and fan yourself back to center. Extend your right leg out. Bring the legs a bit closer together here. Flex those feet. Take a big inhale. It's going to feel a little off center because we've only done all the work on the left side. So reaching for toes or ankles, shins, or knees. Big breath in and a big breath out. Maybe one more breath right here, just reaching forward, rounding over your legs. And we better do all of that on the other side, so let's curl ourselves up to seated. We'll separate our feet a little wider. Left knee is going to bend. Bend the right knee too, bring it in front. Sweep your hands forward right in front of your right leg or your opposite leg and start to walk the hands forward just to start to feel the stretch through the hips. On this side it's different for me. I feel more inner thigh groin area, where on the other side I felt more glute and outer thigh. So just know that each side is going to be very different. So just bringing awareness to your hips, to your back, wherever it is that you're feeling that stretch. And we'll start to peel up, tenting the fingertips and walking the fingertips off the mat over to the left. Remember, you could always pick up your right hand and reach a little further, pretending like someone is helping you a bit further into the pose. Really feeling the stretch along that right rib cage all the way down into the hip. Relax the left shoulder so there's no tension there. And let's see how the other side is feeling with this leg in front. So I like to crisscross my hands through center, over to the right, over top my right knee, ground through the right hand, and pick the left hand up. Reaching over like someone is helping you stretch a little further, relaxing the right shoulder. And if you need to add other movements, that's always welcome. I like to open my chest up and really feel that stretch down through the left waist, which is going to affect my low back. And let's bring it back to center. Move slow so that you're always aware of the sensation you're feeling. Slide yourself back up to center. We will invite our block in, so grab your block, keep it close by, and we'll bring it right underneath our right shin, the outside of your shin. You want your ankle bone to hang off of the edge of it. Excuse me, we'll sit up nice and tall, so tall spine. Grab onto your foot, your knee, and try to smush them together. And lean your heart, lean your belly button towards your leg. Nice. You can even round over in that. And so what's happening is our leg is being pulled a bit closer to our chest, and it should add more of an outer thigh, almost like a pigeon style stretch. So don't worry if your knee doesn't come all the way open onto that block. We just do the best that we can. So try not to compare your body or your shape to the shape that my body makes. All that matters is that you feel a stretch. Roll on up to center. We'll take our block out to the side and extend our right leg. You want to bring your inner thigh flush with your left foot. Rotate your body towards your right foot. Take a big inhale up to the ceiling And we'll fold right over top the right straight leg for your foot, for your ankle, for your shin, for your knee, bowing your head down. 3 breaths. Last full breath here, in through the nose and out through the nose. We'll start to slide ourselves back up. Let your right arm remain on your straight right leg. Sweep your left hand out all the way. Up to the ceiling with the left hand, only if that feels okay on your shoulder. And then over your head towards your right toes. So we're thinking about stretching this left waist area, left ribs, so that our whole spine is arcing over to the right. So imagine your spine stretching really deeply on that left side. Relax the right shoulder, the head. And when you're ready to come up, it doesn't even need to be right now. You'll just sweep yourself back up, take a big inhale as you come back to center. We'll extend our left leg out. Bring the right leg a little closer so that your feet are not touching, but they are long out in front of you. Sweep the hands all the way up, lengthening to the sky, and we'll begin to fold over top these straight legs, reaching for toes or shins or ankles or knees. It's really wherever that your hands land is the perfect spot for you. We want to feel a stretch, but we don't want to feel pain. So know the difference between discomfort, even deep discomfort, and pain, because pain is nervous system saying no thanks, and discomfort means that we're lengthening, we're growing. Let's start to roll back up to center. Now before we move on too far here, let's do another inner thigh opener. Inner thighs connect to our pelvis, and our pelvis, our hips, connect to our back. So it's very important to get our thighs nice and loose when our back is bothering us. So let's bring our feet together and knees apart. So it's okay if your knees are way up like this. It's okay if your knees drop out to the side, and it's okay if your legs touch the ground. Any of these angles are good. So wherever gravity takes your legs to, we don't want to bounce, so try not to bounce your legs. Try to just let gravity take hold and invite them a little deeper. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders down. Just by doing that, I feel a deeper stretch in my inner thighs. And from there, you can certainly fold a little deeper into the posture. Alright, beautiful work everybody. Let's roll up and we're going to be adding on to this. So take your right leg, extend it out, or straight out in front. We'll take our left leg and cross it over top. So it's not necessarily a figure 4. I literally take my left knee and try to stack it on top of my right knee. So it's okay if your foot's out here a little bit more. You just want to cross it right over top. This is known as a half cow face pose or Ardha Gomukhasana, but I'm also going to call it half shoelace. So this is the half posture. Take your hands down to your straight leg, that's my right leg shin, and start to lean into the pose. I feel my right hamstring stretch a lot. Two more breaths. We want to give every posture a couple deep breaths so our nervous system can recognize what it is that we're trying to do here today. Start to bring yourself back up. We're going to try our best to go into a full Gomukhasana or shoelace pose. So I'm supporting myself here on my hands. I'm going to instead now lean over to the right, and that allows me the space here to try to bend my right knee. So now my knees are crisscrossed over top of each other. My left knee, I'm trying to stack on top of my right. You might already be feeling that in the sides of your hips, and if you would like to feel more, you can grab onto your feet and lean your belly towards your legs. So I hope that if you're able to achieve this curled up posture, that you're really feeling that stretch. I feel it mostly in my left hip and my left kind of outer thigh area. So we'll try that on the other side, rolling back. Now if you have your legs in the full posture, watch this transition. You can just take your legs, uncross them, and cross them the other way. So now my right knee is stacked on top of my left. Now remember, if this full posture is not available for your body, then no shame in leaning over to the left and extending the left leg and trying to stack your right knee right on top. So this is the half shoelace or half Gomukhasana, Ardha Gomukhasana. And so what we do on one side, it's very important to do on the other. So even if you're still in this pose, we're going to do both. So leaning your chest towards your left thigh with both legs curled under. I really feel that in the hips opening up. It can be a real challenge, so don't worry if your knees are more lifted. I have a lot of flexibility. I've been practicing a long time, so make sure not to compare yourself to me. We'll try the straight leg version too, leaning out towards the left, lengthening your left leg, crossing your right knee right over top, and starting to lean forward for a left hamstring stretch. I even feel it in my calf muscle. Beautiful. And we'll start to come on back up. Unwind your right leg. And we're going to start to lay back onto our back. So as we lay back here for this position, arrange yourself onto your yoga mat. Get your block out of the way if it's on your mat. We're going to start with something really simple. We do a lot of forward folding in yoga, so let's do a couple back bends. So I'm going to have you bring your feet close enough to where you can actually tickle your heels. Separate your knees so that they're not knocked together. And we'll start with just the lower body. So as we lift, you'll press into your feet and lift your hips up. Squeeze the glutes a little bit. And we'll lower back down. So that's known as a bridge. And we'll try that again. Pressing into the feet, activate the thighs, the belly, butt. And maybe reach your hands up to the sky at the same time. Maybe they reach all the way back over your head. And we'll lower back down to the floor. Really good for the low back. So just do a couple rounds. Inhaling to lift and squeeze. And exhale to lower and soften the body. Couple more. Nice. We'll do one more round with that. And lowering down. Relax the arms by your sides. We will use them again. We're going to take our right leg and cross it over top our left. That's a figure four. We're going into a reclined pigeon. Grab onto your left thigh and pull it into your chest. Now it's okay if you can't grab onto your thigh. You could even grab onto your pant leg or wrap a strap or a robe strap around the back of your left thigh to pull it in closer. A little bit of rocking through the legs feels really good here. And remember, it's okay if you're feeling really extra tight today. That's why we're here doing these stretches. So just being aware of how you're feeling. Bring the left foot back down. Uncross the right. Pick up the left and cross it over top the right thigh for a figure four or a reclined pigeon. You might feel plenty of stretch right there. If you'd like to add more stretch, reach behind your right thigh, grabbing onto your thigh, your pant leg. Use a strap behind your knee if you want to, and we'll add a little rocking. Noticing if this side is tighter than the other. And when you've had enough, release your right thigh, bring your foot back down to the floor, uncross your left. And all we're going to do is rock our knees as far over to the right, picking up the left hip a little bit, and back to center and over to the left. Just rocking our knees, twisting our lower back slightly. Massaging the back into the floor. And if you need a deeper rotation, then you can pick your feet up and pretend like they're in a chair and let both legs drop over to the right, trying to keep your left shoulder blade flat. A mid-back twist. And of course, what you do on one side, try to mimic on the other, so the legs go to the left as the shoulder blades stay grounded. Mid-back twist, low back twist. A couple of those feel good too. Now from here, give yourself a little hug. Massage your back into the floor, doing some circles on the ground, some sacral circles as we call them. And then I lengthen the legs and grab my hands on behind my thighs, and I start to roll on the spine until you get enough momentum to roll yourself back to seated. I hope so deeply that these stretches can help with any sore back issues, any sore hip issues. It's a really lovely routine to do each morning if these are areas that you suffer with upon waking up from bed. So just keep moving your low back, keep moving your hips, and keep lubricated until we roll out the mat together next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.